Ever thought about jumping into the AI space, but you're worried about spending months building something that nobody actually wants? Well, you're in luck. Today, we are breaking down the complete step-by-step blueprint for starting a successful AI automation agency right from scratch. All right, let's just dive right in. Okay, listen up, because this right here is probably the single most important idea we're going to cover. It completely flips the traditional business model on its head. Instead of building something and just, hoping for the best, you actually make sure people will pay for it first. This one little shift in thinking, it cuts your risk way, way down and, honestly, skyrockets your chance of success. So what exactly is an AI automation agency? It's actually pretty simple, really. You're not out there trying to build the next ChatGPT. No, no. Think of yourself as a problem solver. You find businesses that are stuck doing the same boring tasks over and over, or are just being super inefficient. And then you swoop in with existing AI tools and some clever automations to build them a solution. You're basically their expert guide through this new world of AI. All right, let's dig into the first piece of this puzzle, the sell-first model. And I want to be clear, this isn't just some clever tactic. It's a whole new way of thinking about building a company from the ground up. Think about it. The old way is a total gamble. You spend all this time, all this money, all this energy building a product, basically just crossing your fingers that you guessed right about what people want. The new way? Oh, it's a calculated strategy. You find a really painful problem, get a client to actually say, yes, I will pay you to fix this, and only then do you build out the exact solution they need. See the difference? It's huge. Okay, so how do you find that perfect problem to solve? Well, that brings us right to step 2, figuring out your niche and creating an offer that people just can't say no to. This is where we put on our detective hats. And the process here is actually super straightforward. First, you're going to pick, say, 3 potential industries or niches that you're interested in. Then you go digging. You look in online forums, you check out social media groups, you find where these business owners hang out and see what they're actually complaining about. What are their real pain points? And finally, you start brainstorming AI-powered services that would solve those exact problems. And look, these aren't some pie-in-the-sky ideas. They're super practical. For instance, if you find out that website agencies are always struggling to find new clients, boom, you can offer to automate their cold email outreach. Or what about real estate agents? They're drowning in follow-ups, so you could build an automated system that handles all of that for them. These are direct solutions to real, expensive business headaches. Okay, so you've got your niche, you've got your offer. Awesome. But you can't sell to anyone if you can't find them, right? That's where step 3 comes in. Building your outreach engine. This is the system you're going to use to find and actually contact all your potential clients. So building this engine really boils down to 3 key things. First, you use a tool, something like Apollo.io, to grab the contact info for businesses in your niche. People call this scraping. Next, you get all that info nice and organized in a simple spreadsheet. Nothing fancy. And then, and this is a really crucial step, you clean up that data. You get rid of any duplicates or bad emails. This just makes sure your outreach is as efficient as possible. But hold on, this brings up a huge question, right? You've got this list of hundreds of people. How do you contact them without sounding like a robot? How do you make sure your email doesn't just end up in the spam folder, instantly deleted? It's a really big challenge for anyone doing cold outreach. Well, the answer is actually pretty clever. AI-generated icebreakers. Yeah, you can literally feed some info about each person into an AI, and it'll spit out a unique, personalized first line for your email. Just that one sentence shows you've done your homework, and it immediately sets you apart from like 99% of the generic junk that's flooding their inbox. Okay, so your lead list is organized, you've got your secret weapon, those AI icebreakers, and now it's time for the main event. Section 4 is all about hitting send, making those connections, and, actually closing some deals. And listen, your email does not need to be some complex 10-page essay. In fact, simpler is way better. You start with that awesome personalized icebreaker we just talked about. Then you just briefly mention the problem you're pretty sure they have. You kind of hint at your solution, but you don't give away the whole farm. And then you end with a super easy, no-pressure question. Something like, mind if I send over some more info? That's it. But here's something you absolutely cannot forget. Sending one email is almost never enough. People are busy, their inboxes are a war zone. The real magic, the place where you actually get replies, is in the follow-up. Seriously, most of your positive responses will come after the 2nd, 3rd, or maybe even 4th email. You gotta be persistent, but, always be cool about it. So what happens when you get that, yes, I'm interested reply? Don't freak out and don't overcomplicate it. Just get them on a quick call. The most important thing is to listen to their problems. Then you can clearly explain how your service is the perfect fix, and then you ask for the sale. And because you've already done your homework and validated their problem, this conversation is going to be so much smoother. And just like that, boom, you've closed your first client. That's awesome, congratulations. But the work isn't over. In fact, this is where you go from just doing a project to being a real business owner. So let's talk about how you deliver, how you systemize, and how you scale this thing up. Okay, now's the time to actually build the thing you promised you'd build. But as you're doing it, you got to be thinking about the future. Can you create reusable templates from the work you're doing? Document every single step of your process. I mean, every click. Because this is how you turn a one-off project into a repeatable system. And that system, that's the key to scaling and eventually selling your clients even more valuable services down the road. All right, so as we wrap this up, let's just hammer home the key principles here. First, validate before you build, always. Second, personalize your outreach. It makes all the difference. Third, target real, painful problems. Don't sell vitamins, sell painkillers. Fourth, use automation for your clients, sure, but also for your own business so you can scale. And finally, when a lead bites, respond fast. Speed is everything. So there you have it. We've literally laid out the entire roadmap, from just having an idea to scaling a real business. The steps are clear and the strategy is proven to work. The only thing left is for you to actually do it. So the final question really is for you. What problem are you going to solve first?